Right now at noon, McDonald County prosecutors dropped charges in a fatal hit-and-run case.
And we have an abnormally warm week this week. We'll talk about that coming up.
Plus, a Missouri lawmaker is working to help families struggling with fertility.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
McDonald County prosecutors dropped charges in a fatal hit-and-run case. This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Snowy. The initial charges stem from an incident that occurred on November 2nd in Knoll, Missouri. Gloria Trejo allegedly hit a pedestrian at South Kings Highway and Hall Ridge Road in McDonald County. Now, the victim, 59-year-old Michael Pruden, died at the scene. According to court documents, Trejo told authorities she first thought she had hit a deer, then saw it was a person, got scared, and left. Now, on Friday, McDonald County prosecutor Malia Cheney released a statement in regard to the dropped charges, saying in part, quote, "The officer has made a false statement in the probable cause affidavit, which would likely affect the case outcome." End quote. Now, sources say the officer stated a serial number was found on a lens linking it to a 1992 Ford F-150. However, the lens contained a model number, not a serial number. Now, that model number lens would fit numerous other years of Ford vehicles, not limited to the 1992 F-150. Now, charges in the case can be refiled, and you can find more information on this story, including the prosecutor's full statement, on our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. Now let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney for a look at the forecast.
Well, we had some storms come through this morning, but as you can see, clouds have cleared out. All the rain's out of our area. Temperatures are now into the low to mid 50s, and we've got a northerly breeze. Now, winds are pretty light, and temperatures don't drop too much, but we did go down from the upper 60s yesterday, and our high today is going to be in the 50s so far. We're about 54 degrees now. Amount of rain that we got, most of it was along I-44 and south of I-44, especially out towards Springfield. We got up to 3 to even 4 inches of rain. Now, just east of Joplin, got about 4 inches of rain, but out in the southeast Kansas and even Oklahoma, only about a half an inch to an inch and a half of rain, so not a ton. We do have a flood warning still in effect throughout the remainder of today, south of Springfield and a little bit in our area, but outside of that, we're not getting much more rain chances this week. The rest of the evening is looking pretty nice. Clear skies. Temperatures are a bit cooler tonight, dropping down into the 30s. But we've got another cold front that's going to be moving in tomorrow afternoon. That's bringing us a few more rain showers, and we're going to talk about all that coming up.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. Well, 2 weeks ago, Braxton Thrasher, a 17-year-old, was severely injured in a hit-and-run accident in Carthage, Missouri. Now, in that time, several organizations, including the Dominoes that Braxton worked for, have made efforts to raise money for Braxton's recovery. Late Thursday night, the Carthage Dominoes released a statement they received directly from Braxton, and it states in part, quote, "I want to say I appreciate everything you guys are doing for me and my family with this fundraiser and for everyone that is supporting. It's amazing to see so many kind and caring people helping another person out in need. I'm positive every day, keeping my head up and working hard to heal. Thank you guys again for everything." End quote. Well, families, students, and staff are grieving after learning of the loss of one of their own. Now, a student from Knoll Elementary School has succumbed to their injuries from an ATV accident last week. Counselors will be on school grounds starting today to provide support for those who may need it. A Missouri lawmaker is trying to help people who are struggling to have a baby. Chris Bryant spoke with her about why it's important and shares one mom's story on how IVF helped grow her family.
For Danielle Faith, finding out in 2015 that having a child without intervention wasn't easy news to take.
We're told after that we were going to have to go through infertility treatment in order to have children. So we started very minimal because we couldn't afford IVF at that point in time.
The journey took its toll, not only on Faith and her husband, but also their bank account.
It felt as though we were, kind of wasting time and wasting money because we were doing things that weren't actually going to work. We just had a lot of hope that they were.
And then in 2021,
and she is our little miracle.
She came after 6 years of infertility treatment, 6 embryo transfers, and 2 rounds of IVF.
Due to us not being able to, access IVF at In the beginning, maybe we could have had her faster, or, we could have built our family a little bit sooner.
Helping families is why Representative LaDonna Applebaum has filed HB 487. This isn't the first time a similar bill has been introduced in Missouri, and neighboring states already have similar laws.
I believe there's 23 states that currently mandate insurance to cover IVF, including Arkansas, Kentucky, Louisiana.
The bill, if passed, would require insurance providers in Missouri provide IVF treatment as part of health insurance coverage.
Starting in August of 28, that the insurance companies would have to cover IVF treatment, and there's certain stages for different ages of women that want the treatment and how long they've gone without a successful pregnancy.
The proposed legislation calls infertility a disease, condition, or statuses characterized by the inability to achieve a successful pregnancy based on the patient's medical, sexual, and reproductive history, age, physical findings, diagnostic testing, or any combination thereof.
There's so many people that know someone who had to go through IVF treatment, whether it was successful or not, that want to have kids.
For the bill's sponsor, having firsthand seen the cost of IVF, she knows that it might be an uphill battle, even though she is hearing about support from both chambers.
My family, and it was just way too expensive. And I just feel like that was really, really sad because we couldn't afford it and we wanted to have a family.
For Faith, she now works to make sure those going through the process know they are not alone through making a miracle.
Helping others in their journey and being able to advocate for them no matter what their journey looks like.
Well, coming up, some tips on keeping your house safe when you cozy up to the fireplace this winter. And later, we're making an herb au gratin potatoes in the Mr. Fu test kitchen. According to the National Fire Protection Agency, nearly half of all home heating fires occur in December, January, and February. KOAM's Mitch Adams spoke with the Carthage-based sweep to find out more about preventing chimney fires.
We also strongly believe in the education in this industry. And we clean a lot of chimneys this time of year.
As the temperatures begin to get colder and colder, many people rely on a fireplace for warmth in their home. A fireplace can be an efficient and less expensive way to heat your home, but it can come with different hazards. Janie Frazier is the president of Alpine Chimney Sweep. It's her family business with around 40 years of history.
I am a master sweep. That means that I've been educated in the chimney and hearth industry.
Frazier sat down with us to give us some tips on how to make sure your chimney and fireplace are safe to use, without the risk of damage or, even worse, a chimney fire.
One thing that you cannot do, you can't see 20 feet up a chimney and say, yeah, it looks great and everything's fine. That's not possible. So we use a video camera that's specifically for our industry. And we video the inside of the flue.
When it comes to the full-on prevention of a chimney fire, Frazier gave us her best advice in making sure that your chimney and fireplace are safe to use this winter.
The easiest way I have found is to have it cleaned, or at least inspected. And we can send a camera up there. We can just visually inspect it, but at that point, you'll know what's real. Is it safe to use or is it not?
Frazier also took the time to share with us the different tools that are used in the trade and the different functions that they have for different jobs.
This is the newest and greatest. This goes up the chimney, and we use a drill to whip out all the creosote. We're looking for any defects that may cause loss of life or property.
Educating people about some of the dangers is a reason for Frazier to keep doing the work she does.
I love going to meet people in their homes. I like educating them about how to use their fireplace and if they can use it, and if they can't, why not, and what we can do to make it better.
In Carthage, Missouri, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
Frazier says that getting your chimney cleaned also helps with venting and improves airflow to the fire, making it more heat efficient. Well, Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Do you know what side dishes you'll be serving for Christmas dinner? No worries, we've got plenty of ideas, as well as an updated classic that's priceless.
And we continue to warm up all week this week until the weekend. I'll have those details coming up. Well, we had some morning storms. They were pretty loud, but so far we didn't see any damage reports. Now, let's go ahead and take a look outside. Downtown Pittsburgh, you can see most of the clouds have cleared out of our area or are on their way to clearing out, and we are having a pretty clear night for the rest of the day. Now, outside of the rain chances, we do have a cooler night ahead from that front that moved through. Now, accumulation from the rain last night, we had in the Joplin area, Carthage area, and a little bit south, about 2.5 inches, but some isolated areas where we saw the stronger storms, we got up to 4 inches of rain, and then out in Oklahoma and Kansas, only about up to 1.5 inches of rain. So overall, mostly south of I-44 received quite a bit of rainfall. Now, temperatures are going to be a bit cooler today from yesterday. We're only getting up to the mid to upper 50s, and then our low getting down into the mid to lower 30s. Now, we warm right back up because you can see winds shift right back out of the south as we head into Tuesday. Temperatures reaching upper 50s, so it's going to be another warm day on Tuesday, though we have another cold front that's going to be moving in Tuesday evening to give us a cold day on Wednesday. So you can see how those winds shifted and that cold air is being pushed into our area. Temperatures on Wednesday morning are going to be a bit warmer because that front moves in the overnight hours, but our high is getting up to only mid 40s. So we're going to have one cool day out of the entire week, but we do warm right back up. Now, along that front that's going to be moving in Tuesday afternoon into early Wednesday morning, we might see a few isolated showers, though not a ton of accumulation. Let's go ahead and take a look at the future track. Clouds start to push in Tuesday afternoon, along with maybe some sprinkles in the early afternoon south of I-44, but then that front starts to push in. Most of the heavier rain develops south of our area. You can see it in Fort Smith and all the way out to West Plains, and then out in Arkansas continuing to shift. But that front does move in. We do see a few scattered showers along that boundary in the overnight hours. So this is now Wednesday, 1 a.m. Mostly just sprinkles, not a lot of accumulation, if any, but we will see a bit of a windy event with this. So winds pick up early Tuesday morning, gusting out of the southeast about 9 a.m. You can see winds gusting up to 20 miles per hour. Now that continues through most of the day on Tuesday, but as that front moves in, those winds shift out of the northwest, and we're going to see winds pick up to 25, even 30 mile per hour wind gusts through the morning on Wednesday, and then quickly dying down. So we do have a little windy, maybe a little rainy event on Tuesday afternoon. Those temperatures drop down into the mid 40s for our high on Wednesday, so it's going to be a bit cooler, but winds shift right back out of the south again. Thursday is going to be high in the mid 50s, but we've got another cold front moving in Thursday night into early Friday morning. That's going to actually keep us cool all weekend long, and then we have another warm up just ahead of Christmas Eve and Christmas. So we're going to have a pretty warm Christmas into the 50s and even in the 60s.
60s and Christmas.
On Christmas,
Unbelievable,
60 degrees.
Lindsay.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't know what to maybe I like a warm Christmas now.
Well, I guess the roller coaster continues.
It does. I don't see us really cooling down consistently until now, getting into January, even pushing February before we probably see our first snow. So we've got some time. I mean, on this forecast period, we only have, 3 days where we're actually average. Every other day we're in the 50s. So it's going to be a warm week.
All right. Seems like it. Thanks, Lindsay. Well, stick around. We're making herb de gratin potatoes in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Well, Christmas is a little over a week away, and Howard has the perfect recipe to add to your holiday feast. He's making herb de gratin potatoes in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Christmas is right around the corner, and since everyone expects some kind of potatoes as part of the holiday lineup, we've created an updated version of au gratin potatoes that promises to be a hit. We start by peeling and slicing a couple pounds of baking potatoes. Sure, we can do this by hand with a sharp knife, but it's a lot easier if you use a mandolin or a food processor. Now, we toss these with some melted butter and layer about a quarter of them in a baking dish. And to give these lots of flavor, We sprinkle them with some chopped onion, along with some Parmesan cheese that we seasoned with a few spices. We repeat this, alternating the potatoes, cheese, and onions with some heavy cream until everything is used up. We'll cover this and pop it in the oven until the potatoes are tender and the top is golden. And whether you serve this with beef, turkey, or ham, it's going to be the star of your dinner. You can even assemble this ahead of time and bake it off right before serving. To get the recipe for our herbed au gratin potatoes, along with lots of holiday side dish recipes, simply visit our website. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a creamy and flavorful way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
You can find this recipe for herbed au gratin potatoes along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
Well, we have a bit of a warmer day today, though not as warm as we were yesterday because of that cold front that came through this morning. Areas south of I-44 received quite a bit of rain, but we have a quick turnaround, a cool night tonight, but temperatures right back into the 50s Tuesday. We only have a handful of cold nights on our forecasted period, and outside of that, we're above average both Tuesday, Thursday, and just ahead of Christmas. So it's going to be a warm Christmas.
60 degrees, I say that's well above average.
That is.
Unbelievable.
And welcome, if you ask
yeah,
me.
Sure. All right, thanks, Lindsay. And Dan, what do you have for us later on?
Well, a whole lot's coming up at 5. For starters, experts are weighing in on a mysterious condition known as PANS that's affecting children and can be characterized by sudden onset of symptoms such as obsessive compulsive behaviors, tics, or anxiety. Plus, the Cherokee County Health Department is providing CanCare application assistance for residents, and new routes are going to be added to the U.S. bicycle route system, with expansions making their way through southeast Kansas and southwest Missouri. Hope you join us for those stories. A lot more, of course, is coming up today. KOAM News at 5.
Absolutely. Lots to look forward to. Sure. Thank you, Dow. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. Now, before we go, we'd like to introduce you to JET HD students from Joplin High School. Have a great rest of your day.